Money or excuses. Look, this is the way it is. People in life, they can have one of two things. They can have money or they can have excuses. That's it. Okay? And so right now, you got two options. One is you can sign up, you can get involved, and now you can go make money. Or number two is you can come up with some excuse. Why you couldn't afford it. Why you couldn't do it this time. Why you don't have enough time. Why you don't, whatever your excuse is today, that's fine. But the reality is you can't have both. You can have money or excuses, and you got to decide right now which one you want. Kind of about you, but I'd rather have money. And so that's why you need to go invest right now. Okay? Money or excuses. All right. Oh, good. Mike just hooked me up with money is good. Okay. Thank you, Mike. It's always kind of nerve-wracking when you're on a live webinar to make sure you get them all. So money is good. So come back to money is good close. So what Mike basically says, like a lot of people think money is evil. Okay. They look at it as a bad thing. Money is not bad. All money is a tool for exchange. Okay. So what's cool about it is you spend money right now to get something bigger in return. Okay, and it's a tool for exchange. That's all it is. It's just this, because the problem that most people have, you guys, this is why the money is good, clothes is good, is people have this weird like love-hate relationship with money. Like money is this thing that they struggle with, and they have so much passion, and you have to like disassociate that with it. So you break it down like money's just a tool for exchange, right? You go to the grocery store, you give them money, they give you food. Okay, you're exchanging stuff. That's all it is. And right now we're just asking you to exchange some of that money for this thing. And if it's worth more to you than the money, then it's a fair trade for you and for me. And so that's why the money is good, clothes works good. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Awesome. Okay. Information alone. Okay. Money or excuses. All right. Your two choices. So your two choices. This one's really cool because this one justifies why you're charging a lot of money. So you say, look, this is the way it is, you guys. I had two choices when I was putting together this package. The first choice was I can make it really cheap, charge like $97, and we could sell tons of people. Everyone have access to it. And that was one option. Okay. But the problem with that is that with just that one option is that I can't put in the time or the effort, the resources to really serve you. So instead of like selling 10,000 people just to get $97, what I decided to do is to help you, because I want to give you more personal attention. I decided to charge a lot more. Okay, I decided to charge $2,000. That way, it justifies me spending more time and more effort. And I'm guessing for most of you guys, you'd probably rather have a little more effort from me, right? So that's why I decided to charge more for what I'm selling. Okay, your two choices. And it's just, it makes them like, yeah, I'm glad he's charging me more money because now I can, now he's going to spend more time with me and all these other things, right? Okay, that's the your two choices. Then it shifts over to their two choices. All right. All right. Okay, so with their two choices, now instead of what choices you're making, it's choices that they're going to make, right? So the choices right now, you got two decisions. Choice number one is you can go invest. You can get started in the next 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, you can have this entire system up and running and making money. Or you can end this webinar right now. You go to bed tonight. You kind of sit around, and tomorrow you wake up and you do the exact same thing you're doing right now. Okay, you got choices as well, and you just got to decide like which choice is more exciting. Which one do you want in your life? Do you want to go back to exactly what was happening yesterday? I'm guessing not. Otherwise, why did you register for this webinar? Okay, you're trying to lose weight. You show up to this webinar. You need help. Okay, so you got two choices. Either it's get help, let's fix this problem for you, or go back and keep doing what you're doing already. I don't know about you, but that second option never makes me happier. That's why I want to help you right now. Okay, so you're showing them their two choices and kind of downplaying and making the choice of going back to the regular life look horrible and get them excited about the life that you're trying to offer them. Okay? All right, us versus them. Us versus them is where we start shifting into the people that you want on your team versus those who you don't want. In fact, I think I showed it here. Yeah. So this one, I stole this example from Jason Fladlin. I did the tale of two people. So I was like, look, there's two kind of people who show up on these webinars. First one's the timid, nervous guy or gal who gets on here and like they think it's really cool and they want to do it, but they just don't take action. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't like working with those people. Like those people never successful. Okay, the people like us, right? Who they get on this, they hear it, they understand it, they step up and they want to produce, and boom, they come out here and they make results and make things happen. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what are you? Are you this guy or are you this guy? If you're this guy, it's probably a good time to hang up on the webinar right now. I don't want to make you feel guiltier than you already do. But if you're ready to take some massive action in your life and do some cool stuff and change your life for the better, if you want to join us, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Come sign up right now. highticketsecrets.com/go. Right? I pitch it back on the thing again. All right. Reluctant hero is awesome. This is right here. This is my reluctant hero slide. Look, guys, I'm nothing special. Because that's the problem. When you just by the fact that you're the webinar presenter, people think you're magic. They think you're special, right? So you got to come back and remind them, like, look, I'm nothing special. Okay, I personally cannot pick up the phone to sell things. I don't know how to drive Facebook traffic. I spent 10 years of trial and error to discover this thing that works super, super easy. And you can either go and do it the hard way and go figure it out yourself, or just do what I did. Just plug it in. Like, it works. It's awesome. And I'm nothing special. I'm just a normal guy just like you. And if I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. Okay, that's the Reluctant Hero close. I missed a couple of them. Sorry, I missed the handhold. The handhold close. If you have like a members area, the handhold close works really good. It's where you basically go and you say, look, in fact, let's break away from the presentation. I'm going to show you this thing. And you log in. This is what it looks like when you buy. This is what's you're going to go to this page and fill out this form. After you buy, you're going to go on this page right here. This is where you're going to log in members area. This is where you're going to submit a form. And you can talk to me. And you kind of just walk them through the process so they can see it. You're hand holding them through the process. And it's not just logging in the members area. Usually it's the entire sign-up process. That's where people get more intimidated. So if you show them, here's the order form, here's where you put your credit card in. After that, you're taking this page right here. Then you're going to do this, and you kind of just show them the process. Okay. All right, which ones am I missing? I skipped around a little bit. Us versus them we got. Only excuses we got. Handheld, reluctance. So I think I got these 4 left. Okay. All right, say goodbye. This is where you start talking about the things in their life they hate. So I come back and it's like, look, guys, this is the deal. For a lot of you guys, you have been trying to do high-ticket sales and you hate the phones. I want you right now to say with me, say goodbye. Your phone phobia is gone forever. A lot of you guys are scared because of whatever. Whereas right now, because of what you just bought, you can say goodbye forever. Okay, and so I start like taking all these fears and I'm basically dismissing them with them. Okay, so a lot of times I'll drop this between the stacks. Let's say I know one of my stack points is talking about they're scared about hiring. So my bonus is like, hey, I'm going to give you all of our ads, our interview process, our hiring. So if you're nervous about like, I don't know how to run an ad, you can say goodbye to that fear forever because I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you our ad. I'm going to give you the interview process. I'm going to give you everything. It's gone forever. Boom. So I'm helping them say goodbye to all the fears that they're having, all the things they're keeping them back and what they're trying to do, right? Okay, if you only got, it's a great one to drop at each step of the stack. So I show this and I'm like, isn't that awesome? Now, if you only got that piece alone, it would still be worth the investment. But that's not, but on top of that, I'm also giving you, and then you go to the next thing. Okay, again, I'm justifying what they just bought. If that's all I gave you, it'd still be worth it, but you're getting something even more. That's if you only got close. Now and later close. This is kind of again, it comes back to this pre-framing thing, right? So like right now in your life, you're struggling with this, you're struggling with this, you're struggling with all these things you're struggling with. But later, after you invest in this package, those things are gone. Okay, right now, these are a big issue for you. Right now, you have no idea how to sell high-ticket stuff. But later, after you invest, all those problems are gone. Okay, so you bring them where they are right now, the current frustrations, and you show them how investing makes those things magically disappear, now and later. And then your close is usually the very end where you're like, look, guys, this is it. Webinar's over. Go sign up right now. Again, go to click the button or sign below. Go to www.highticketsecrets.com/go. And you keep pushing them to the call to action, to the URL over and over and over again, as many times as you can. Okay. Now, that's kind of it, you guys. So there's your stack. You're sprinkling in all these awesome closes along the way. And again, you don't have to use all of them. Just use a couple of them at each step in here to the point where you feel comfortable. If you feel cheesy, don't put all of them in, but pick the ones that make the most sense to you, that you really enjoy, that you like. You can kind of tie your own personality around and sprinkle those things throughout this stack process. If you guys follow that to a T, I promise you, if you're in front of an event, people run the back of the room. You're on a webinar, people are going to go to this URL, as long as your offer is good. But if your offer is awesome and you wrap it with this perfect webinar, you guys, it just works. Okay, and I got 2 more secrets for you. And the first one, this is a little thing we started adding to our webinars. We saw a 25% increase in sales. On the last slide, a lot of people, they still have one question and they're just nervous about it. So on the last slide, I said, look, guys, if you still have questions, that's fine. I understand that. I want you guys to lock in your spot right now. So what you can do is, if you have a question, all you got to do is call our secure voicemail line at this number, and then leave a detailed message with your full name, your address, your phone number, and your credit card number with expiration. And don't worry, I'm not going to charge you right now. I just want to make sure you're actually serious. You're not just calling to be a looky-loo. If you're serious about this, you just have a question, give me everything, including your credit card, and I will not bill it. I swear to you, I won't bill it. But what happens, as soon as we get that information in, either me or my assistant will call you today or tomorrow, and we will personally answer your question. And then if you're okay with everything, then we'll bill your credit card. Does that sound fair? And people are like, yeah, sure. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing your voice light up, your voicemail. So for this, we set up a Google Voice number, and people, they log in and they leave their message, leave their phone number, and we got a 25% increase in sales from adding that little thing in there. from all those people who they're in, they just got one question. It's magic. Okay, so that's a really good one. And the last one, this one's kind of a bigger thing, kind of an overall hierarchy principle. I learned this initially from a guy named Ted Thomas. They call him the Pied Piper because when he speaks at like a Robert Kiyosaki event, I've seen pictures of him where he'll literally be walking around the room and he'll have a line of like 500 people all holding their credit card, following him behind him, waving their credit cards, and they'll follow him to the back of the room. And it's pretty awesome. Anyway, they call him the Pied Piper because of that. And I met him at an event. He saw me speak, and then afterwards he pulled me aside. He said, "Russell, you did great. You did sales were good." But he said, "Did you notice one thing?" He said, when you were speaking, so I was sitting in the back of the audience, and you did a great job. You know, people signed up, they were excited, but I noticed nobody's heads were moving. He said, when you come to my audience and you watch me speak, he said, and you're sitting in the back of the room, it looks like you're watching a wave. He said, everybody's heads are nodding up and down the entire 90 minutes. Okay, and he said, do you know how I do that? I said, no, how do you do it? He said, I do it by this little thing called trial closes. Okay, all a trial closes is something I throw out there to get somebody to say yes. Does that make sense? Okay, I said, does that make sense? Because that was a trial close. You guys probably notice I say that a lot. Okay, I say, isn't that awesome? You guys getting this? Isn't this exciting? Like when you see how this all works, and everyone listening at home saying, yeah, that is exciting. That is cool. And they start nodding their heads yes. Okay, so the first time I learned about these trial closes, I went back to an automated webinar I had, and I literally went through and I rewatched the entire like 3-hour-long webinar, and I listened to every single spot I could insert a trial close, and I wrote this thing out, and I had my brother record me, or I record myself saying each of these little trial closes, and I had my brother who does my video stuff insert those trial closes in my entire 3-hour webinar. And then we started running it, and our profit per webinar registrant went from $9.40 a person up to $16. It was like we almost doubled our income just by adding in these trial closes. It's crazy. Okay. Now for me, when I first started doing this, what I would do is I would take all these trial closes and I'd write them down on note cards and I put them all over my desk. And when I was giving webinars, I looked down and I would say them. I would get to a spot and I'd be like, isn't that awesome? Are you guys getting this? Okay. Do you guys see how this would help you in your life? Can you imagine what it'd be like if you were doing this every single day? Okay, and I started saying that all over the place. And now it's the point where if you guys have just watched this webinar, I'm not even trying to close you, but I guarantee your heads have been nodding. I've been dropping trial closes every like 10 seconds on you guys. It's just how I speak now, right? And it's something you guys will learn as well. But trial closes are powerful, and the best place to add trial closes, besides the entire presentation, but anytime you share a success story or you share one of your big secrets, most people will share a testimonial and then they move on. Okay, when you share a testimonial, you should drop 5 or 6 trial closes right afterwards. So I just showed how Susie did this thing and she lost 30 pounds, and then I'm going to stop and be like, isn't that awesome? What would happen? Can you imagine if you lost 30 pounds right now? Would that be awesome? What would that mean for you in your life if you lost 30 pounds? Would your spouse look at you a little differently? Okay, would your kids think about you differently? That'd be pretty great, don't you think? We might start 5 trial closes and then move on. Okay, I share a secret number 1. I talk about, again, for me, the secret up here about, right here, like, don't have to pick up the phone. So I share my secret. I'm like, wouldn't that be great if you could make high ticket sales without picking up the phone? Isn't that awesome? Like, I don't know about you, but I'm scared about it. Are you guys scared about picking up the phones? Yeah, me too. Like, wouldn't that be great if you could do that? Like, just imagine how it would change your life. Okay, so I'm dropping these trial closes all over the place. Okay, so next time you guys watch one of my webinars, look for the trial closes. They're everywhere. Okay, and just start using them in your everyday language pattern. Natasha, same thing. I talk about trial closes, and she swears by them. She uses them all day long, every day, and it's pretty awesome. All right, guys. So give me your feedback real quick on the perfect webinar. Do you guys see kind of how I do that process? Do you see how you can wrap pretty much any of your presentations or any of the things you're trying to sell into that perfect webinar template? It's funny, like I look at how much what I had to go through to get this, you guys, from a financial standpoint, from me standing in front of an audience making myself look like an idiot, for me crashing and burning, and this is literally, like I said, the culmination of man, how many years, like 10 plus years of trial and error to get to this. And I'm grateful to be able to share it with you guys, because hopefully it'll save you guys that all those headaches. You know, with Liz, this is what I gave her. I gave her this outline. I gave her my presentation, the one you guys just watched right now, and said, look, go in and take your content, what is you're selling, but wrap it in these pieces. And if you do that, I don't know why it works. I just know that it works, and so I just do it. And it really is that powerful. And so that's kind of one of the biggest gifts I want to give you guys during this training. I know we've been on now for for 4.5 hours. And we're getting close to the end, I promise. But this was one of the biggest gifts I want to give you guys, because this will literally give you the ability to write your own paycheck for the rest of your life. Like literally every couple months when I want some more money and my wife wants to go do something stupid, let's go on a trip, whatever it is. I'm like, all right, let me put together a webinar, and boom, 50,000, 100,000, just crazy amounts of money. And then what's cool is after you do it once, then you've got this thing. It's kind of funny. Like I look at when I first started my marketing career, I would go and I would spend all the time and energy and effort and build this thing. And I'd build a product and I'd go and I'd launch it and I'd make, 50, 100, 200 grand, whatever it was. And then I'd go and I'd create another webinar. And that's why I got probably so good at it, is I kept creating new webinars. And one time I met this person, and I'm grateful for this, because this kind of comes back down trying to do with Liz and trying to do you guys as well. And she told me she had gone and she'd built probably 3 or 4 companies from like $1 million companies up to like 20, 30, 40 $1 million companies. And she said something really profound. She said, all you internet marketer guys, you're so smart on one side. You make the best offers and the best products and the best things. But she's like, what you guys do is the equivalent of going to Boise, Idaho, and you set up, you go and you create a plane, you script out the plane, you write it, and you sell tickets to it, and people come and they come on opening night and do the play, and it's a smashing success. And then you break everything down, and then you go and you start trying to write your next play. And she says, what I do to take a company from where they are right now and take them to the next level, she's like, I take that play on the road. I take it, if it worked in Boise, then we take it to Chicago. If it worked in Chicago, then we go to New York, and we start scaling that and rolling it out. And that's really the magic, you guys, is after you create this webinar once, this thing can pay you for the rest of your life. Liz will be able to make money off hers forever. And if she wants, she can go back, like she was saying, she's excited to go and create another one, because as entrepreneurs, usually we have horrible ADD and we're always looking for the next thing. But the reality is you can create one presentation and it'll change your life. I think it was Gary Halbert said that you're one good sales letter away from I can't remember, $1 million or from whatever it is. And I think it's the same thing with the webinar. Like I told you at the beginning, when we had 100 employees and everything was crashing down around us and I needed some money, man, I put together one webinar and it saved me. And so it just doesn't really matter where you guys are now. If you're a complete beginner, if you've got a business and you're struggling, if you want to take it to the next level, you're one webinar away from really taking it there. And I think this perfect webinar, like I said, this is what I use. This is what works for me. And it's worked for Liz. It's worked for dozens of other people I've shared it with as well. And now I'm giving it to you guys as well. So please use this as a tool. And this is what you need to kind of script out your webinar. Okay. So one thing I think I'm going to do in the members area, this might take me a little while to put it in there, but I think I might go and make like PowerPoint slide template of this, one in PowerPoint and the one in Keynote. And I'll put it in there kind of as a template so you can then take it and kind of build out your own things and add your images and stuff like that. But hopefully that'll kind of also kind of speed up the process for those of you guys who don't like creating the slides. I know that I'm not a big fan of it. But the other thing a lot of people ask me is like, well, Russell, how much time should I spend on the webinar versus the content? And it's unfortunate, but usually we spend a lot more time on the sales webinar than we do the rest of the content. Okay, the sales webinar, that's the key. That's where you got to spend the most effort and energy, because that's what makes you the money. The sales tool is worth way more than the content. So that's where you got to focus the most of your energy. All right, cool. So I'm excited. I love sharing that with people. I love sharing with you guys, and I hope that you guys use it. All right. Okay, so now you've got the script, you've got your content, you've got those two pieces. Now this is where Liz was at 6 weeks ago, right? Now we've got to go and do it live. You're gonna have this thing in your head where you're like, I want to create an automated version right out of the gate, but that's a mistake. You need to do it live a bunch of times to learn your pitch and see what works and see what doesn't work. And so what we do is kind of this process, and I'll walk you guys through it right now. It's pretty easy. So the first thing is we use GoToWebinar. And it's still by far the best to use. I think there's a free trial. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I think there's a free trial, like a 30-day trial. So if you want, you can use it, make a bunch of money, and then start paying for it. But it's one of those tools. Like I've had an account for GoToWebinar for probably 8 years, and I'll never get rid of it just because it's just this thing I need to have, and every time I need to make money, so I just use it, right? So I'm going to sign in to GoToWebinar, and all you got to do is go create a webinar. So hopefully this will work since we're on a webinar right now. Hopefully it won't kick me off or anything. But you log in to GoToWebinar, and I click on Webinars, and I click on schedule webinar. That pops up right here. And I'll walk you through the process. It's really simple and really easy. All I'm going to do is I'm going to name my webinar, right? So I'm going to call this list, I'm going to call it Life Hacking Secrets. And I'll put whatever my headline is, which I don't have right now, but discover how to hack your way to the perfect lifestyle. Okay, and I can pick a date and a time. So say, okay, I'm gonna do the webinar. Like for Liz, she's doing hers every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. You can do yours every Wednesday, every Friday. You can do whatever you want. I like doing Thursdays personally, so I'm gonna do it. Let's say I'll do it Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, from 9 till 10 Eastern time. I come down here, I save and continue. I can choose a theme. It doesn't matter what theme you're going to use because we're going to bypass it inside of ClickFunnels. And I'll show you guys how to do that here in a minute. So it doesn't matter anything you pick here. You can just ignore it. You can put in your presenter name. So if you want it, people see who you are. Title, awesome dude. Or yeah, something like that. And save and continue. And then this is all the stuff you can get for someone to register. I just clear all because I don't want any of that stuff. I just want their name and their email. And then I click on save and email the invitation, and boom, it's created. Then I come down here, and I click on this so you guys can kind of see it. All right, so here it is right here. Now, the only thing I really need is this webinar registration URL. So I can send people directly to this. If I click on it, you'll see what it looks like. It's kind of ugly. But I can send people, I can drive traffic from Facebook straight to here. But the problem is it doesn't really sell the webinar very good. And so that's why we use ClickFunnels. So I'm going to come back here, ClickFunnels. I'm going to create a new funnel. So I'm going to go back to my funnels. I'm going to click on add a new funnel. Now this time I'm going to create a webinar funnel. So I showed you guys all these options last time. Let me make this bigger. I'm going to click on webinar funnel this time. Click on create funnel. Call it list hacking. Ooh, not list hacking, life hacking. Life hacking secrets webinar. I'm going to group mine under success, etc. I create the funnel. And then boom, now it creates the webinar. So you notice it's a very simple process. There's two pages. There's one is the webinar registration page, and then one is the confirmation page. So those are the two options. So come back here. For some reason, it's kind of going weird on me right now. So I'm going to pick, so here's all the cool looking webinar registration pages. There's a ton of them here. So I'm just going to pick whichever one I want. For now, I'm probably going to use a simple one because I don't have a video or anything. So I'm just going to use this one right here. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to create that webinar right here. So that's going to be the registration page where I send people to from Facebook and from all my ads. And then I'm going to create a webinar confirmation page, which is after they register, then here's the page they're going to be taken to. It basically says thank you, blah, 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 right? All right, so now I got those two pages created in my funnel. I come in here, I'm going to click on open in editor. It's going to let me edit this page. And again, guys, in the members area, I'll give you guys a whole bunch of videos that show you how to use this editor and go into a lot more detail. I just want to show you really quickly how it works. So now I come back here and I'm going to just create this page. So I click on this and I change it to life hacking secrets, how to do really cool stuff. You get this horrible webinar name, but I put my picture in right here. If I had a guest, I put their picture in, but I just kind of edit that here and get it all set up. Now, the one thing I gotta do is I gotta integrate this with GoToWebinar. So if I come over here to settings, nope, I come here to email, click on integrations, and you will have had to have set this up already inside of ClickFunnels, your integrations, which again, not necessary for you guys to know right now, but basically just will integrate GoToWebinar. So I'm going to click on GoToWebinar. It's going to find a bunch of my webinars. Now I come back here. Remember I showed you guys this page right here that we clicked on? I'm just going to copy this page right here. Copy it. Come back here into ClickFunnels and I paste it there. Now, when somebody fills out this form, they will be added to that webinar. So now this will be the page I drive traffic to from Facebook. They'll give me their name, their email address, click on register, and boom, that'll add them now to my webinar, and now they'll be registered. And then GoToWebinar will send them emails reminding them this is coming, webinar's happening tomorrow, webinar's happening today, webinar's happening in an hour from now, and boom, they're going to show up, and now you have a chance to give the perfect webinar and actually pitch it to your audience. Cool? So that's kind of how that works. Daryl said, "You are a madman. I love having you in my life." Thanks, Daryl. I like having you in my life now too. Awesome. Okay, so that's how you create that. And again, obviously, I'm going to edit this and make it look really nice. That's how it works. And then I'll exit here. And the only other thing I need to do is, because this is a live webinar, obviously I got to edit the date and time on that page. I come down here, and I can edit. There's a countdown clock. I can edit the countdown clock and inside the editor and say when it's going to go live. And I'm not going to walk you through that process, but that's kind of how you do. Just kind of edit these pages. If you ever get stuck, just click here on this little question mark, and our support can help walk you through it. We've got the most amazing support team on earth. They can walk you through all the pieces and just make sure that it's working. But then after it's done, basically you just come here. This is the website link you will drive traffic to, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. And you should just go through that process, test it, join the list, see if it adds you to your GoToWebinar, and if it did, then it's working. Okay, and if it didn't work for whatever reason, then just click on our support tab, and they'll walk you through and make sure that it works perfectly for you. Okay, so that's how you do the live one. All right, now long term, and I'll just kind of touch on this briefly because I don't want to go into a ton of detail about it. I know we've been going for a long time, and so, but long term, then the next step is to go and actually automate it, where you can create a whole automated webinar, which basically means I record my webinar presentation, I get it perfect. So with Liz, she's done it now probably 6 or 7 times where she's been really successful and closed it. It's working really good. And so now that she's got the pitch down and she's mastered it, she keeps getting better and better with it. Eventually we'll go and we'll actually record. We'll open up Camtasia, just like we talked about with the product, and we'll record her doing her entire webinar presentation. And then after it's recorded, then she'll come here into ClickFunnels. She'll click on Create a New Funnel. Then she'll click right here on Auto Webinar Funnel. And notice the same thing. You have the same sign-up page, same confirmation page, but then it creates right here, you can see an automated webinar landing page, which is basically kind of, it's a website where the webinar will be on, and it'll wait till a certain time. So you say, I want this webinar to play Saturday at 3. It'll wait till Saturday at 3, and then Saturday at 3, boom, it'll start playing that webinar. And then you can have it send out replay, let them watch a replay so if they missed it. The coolest thing I want to show you about is automated webinars, and this is where the magic really is. So I'll call this one Life Hacking Secrets Auto Webinar. The coolest thing about this, and the reason why I love automated webinars, is inside of ClickFunnels, you can see all sorts of stuff. I can see what that person is doing when they register. So let me show you what happens. So I'll pick this template right here. Okay, now if I click right here and you click on email marketing, this is where the magic happens. Is that ClickFunnels will send out emails based on what that person does on the webinar. So if they register, it'll send them this email. Send them a registration confirmation, send them an email a day before, and then an hour before. Now, if they were supposed to be on the webinar but they missed it, then it'll send them an email sending them a link to the replay. Now, if they showed up on the webinar but they left early, then it'll send them a different email telling them about a replay that's happening. Or if they showed up on the webinar, they stayed for the entire thing, they saw your offer at the end, but then they didn't purchase for some reason, then I can send them a different email. And I can add as many emails into this as I want. So I can have, if they miss the webinar, 10 emails trying to get them to watch the replay. And as soon as they watch the replay, then boom, it'll move them to the different list, and it'll move them around. And so the power of automated webinars is your ability to follow up. So Liz right now, it's kind of funny with her process. So she's been doing them live, right? Having tons of success, and she's like, I sold whatever 12 people on this webinar live, and I said, well, what are you doing to follow up? She's like, I don't really have a follow-up sequence in place. And so I gave her access to one of my follow-up sequences, and she's like, wow, you have like 10 emails in this follow-up sequence. And I was like, yeah, usually what happens is however many people buy live on the webinar, we'll typically double that from the follow-up system that's in place. And so it's harder to do it on a live webinar because it's harder to know like who left early, who didn't show up, all those type of things. But on the automated webinar, it's really, really easy to do it. And so anyway, she did it with the live webinar, but she modeled my email sequence that I use. and she did that with her with her live one, and she showed me the stats yesterday, and I think she didn't. It was like she didn't quite double the sales from the replay, but it was almost. It was like if she'd done $10,000 on the live, she did $9,000 from the follow up sequence. And so the follow up piece is key, you guys. Like again, what'll typically happen is about a third of the people who register for webinars show up. And then so you got 70% or 66% who never show up. So you got a whole sequence to try to get them to see the presentation and to close them. So if you do that right, you can make a ton more money. Like I said, we typically double from our follow-up that we do on it live. So I will also in the members area for you guys, I'll go export all the emails that I use in my in some of our really good webinars that have made millions of dollars, and then put them in there so you can see them and use them as a template. And I'll make a video that kind of explains how that process works. If you guys want that, that'd be a cool bonus for you guys for being awesome. I hope. All right, cool. All right, so let me come back.